And we are live. Hello, America. How's it going? Um, it is Friday, March 27th, 2026. I'm streaming to you live from Los Angeles at Notes from the Circus. How is it going? I have my voice coming back to me again, so I need to turn that off. Monitoring the chat at Substack. If anyone wants to put their messages in there, if they have a question, I'll try to see it. But I was thinking about George Orwell before I started the stream, and I'm sorry for the half-hour delay for those of you who are here at 4 p.m. Had some scheduling difficulties, but here I am. We're gonna get through my thoughts of the day. It's been an exciting last 48 hours for me. As some of you have been reading my posts have seen, but I was going to get this started by talking about Mr. Orwell, George Orwell. One thing that's like really prevalent in like sort of the discourse around freedom of speech, like particularly on the right, is this appropriation of like Orwell and the use of this sort of category of Orwellianism. I am a scholar of Mr. Orwell. I haven't just read his books, the famous literature that people have read, 1984 and An Animal Farm. You know, I'm actually going to sort of refer to another famous work, right? Notes on nationalism that he wrote. You know, one of the things he said in that book, a famous quote, is he said that those who abjure violence can only do so because others are committing violence on their behalf. You know. The other important piece, right, from Orwell is Homage to Catalonia, where he described his experience in the Spanish Civil War. Or what if you haven't read Homage to Catalonia, like you should, right? Orwell. Orwell went to Barcelona in 1936. His initial plans were to be a journalist, to document the war, to observe and report. But within days, he enlisted in the POUM militia. Not because he was like recruited. He just like couldn't. I mean, his general posture was like, I'm able-bodied, and this fascism that's spreading across Europe. The coup that had taken place in Spain, the Marcos coup. Orwell was of the opinion that that people should fight. And we can't. He was shot in the throat, nearly died, and when Orwell returned to England, like famously, right, the New Statesman refused to publish his dispatches because his strident support for democracy violated the Stalinist narratives that were very prevalent, like among the academic left at the time. And Orwell was like absolutely like shocked by this. So I mean, it's important to understand this, that Orwell at the time like thought that the sympathies for the Soviet Union Orwell considered himself a socialist, but he couldn't for the life of him understand why any socialist would support Joseph Stalin, because he was a dictator. He was a democratic socialist. Which and this is a fact about Orwell that is never like talked about, like particularly among those on the right who like appropriate George Orwell. I always enjoy this, of course, when my interlocutors, those who would sort of quote Orwell to me to sort of you know uh uh, explain the principles of free speech as Orwell had thought about them. um, and I will take up the sword of Mr. Orwell's good reputation and reject all of this appropriation of Mr. Orwell. I mean, um, I think it's funny talking to right libertarian types and conservatives. Like, in their mind, they imagine that after what happened with COVID, what happened with like vaccine disinformation, policing on platforms, they imagine that Mr. Orwell would have been all behind Mr. Trump. Um, I mean, I've talked to people. I have friends, or former friends. I've lost a lot of friends because you can see that I'm quite strident and like I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care about who like. I mean, you can call it a crash out. You can call it whatever it is, right? Like I just care about the truth, right? Um, um, and it is what I'm speaking. I'm speaking the truth. You can look all this up. I'm not making shit up about Mr. Orwell. Like I said, I'm a deep study of Mr. Orwell. Another person that I've studied quite deeply, right, is Hannah Arendt, right, and the I reread Eichmann in Jerusalem last year. I was going to reread The Origins of Totalitarianism, where she argues about how the neutrality of institutions, right, the courts, press, civil society, and the way in which those institutions get corrupted, and the ways in which the demagogues, of reactionary demagogues' interests that seek to subjugate the power of the states to their interests, like hide behind these false neutralities. And an example of this false neutrality, right, like it's which is present, right, in our epistemic condition, and you see this, right, like Bari Weiss is an example of this. Bari Weiss believes that like Donald Trump is not covered in a balanced way. She's the kind of person that would look at you and say, yes, Donald Trump has done all this bad stuff, but you must also talk about the good things he's done, you see? Otherwise, you can't be taken seriously by people on the right and conservatives who are committed to the notion that Mr. Trump has also done good. He's closed the border. Biden wouldn't close the border, and he did. So you need to cover that, and you need to juxtapose that with the bad things he can done, so people can come up with a reasonable, objective view. This is asinine. This is asinine, right? I mean, you might as well say like a full proper account of Adolf Hitler is the good things he did. Did you not know that Adolf Hitler was principally responsible for the creation of the German Autobahn system, which contributed greatly to the industrialization and modernization of the German economy? Like, are you not going to give him credit for that? I mean, you might as well say something like that. It's the same fucking thing, right? Like, what are you talking about, right? And so, this nonsense, this balance that right libertarians who, I honestly, I've just really come to think of them as just really selfish, cowardly people, who are, I mean, they're cowards. They're cowards because they won't risk losing anything for what they believe. They won't. Like, and honestly, look, what they believe is it's just like they want their property rights. They want to be able to make money and spend their money on whatever the fuck they want without anyone telling them. They want to be left alone. What a mature political worldview. It's not a political. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And you see this, right? I mean, I just like I'm already seeing it now, right? Like, just in the way, as people are now, you're seeing people step down from pretend like they never supported Donald Trump, just acting like, oh, I mean, guess I never liked politics anyways. It's this complete lack of taking responsibility for your failure to inform yourself, to understand things, to think that like these like you know you think because you can quote this or that, you think you can quote Orwell, or you think you can quote like whatever figure, and you somehow think you've sort of gained some sort of wisdom to sort of like sustain some sort of coherent view that makes it justifiable to you, that like you stood with a guy that tried to steal our election in 2020, and he's trying to steal this one very obviously. Everyone knows this. Even Republicans realize this. Like state Republican parties have sort of like have revolted against him on this. Everyone knows like this is what's going on. And honestly, and everyone was like, well, honestly, like with Kamala Harris's positions, honestly, the guy that's going to try and steal our elections and become a dictator is really the least bad option, because you see, the courts will contain him and the institutions will contain him. Therefore, it's better to put the guy who wants to be a dictator in charge, because he won't be able to be a dictator. Like this, people made this argument. People in the business community, people I know, like people who have billionaires. I have people I know, billionaires. People said to my face, made these arguments to me, and like, I mean, and these like, I mean, fuck. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, take some fucking accountability for the world you wrecked. And don't tell me that it was like trans ideology or the woke liberals that did it. No, you made the choice. You were like, you went through the calculation and you were like, let's put Donald Trump back in power, because Kamala Harris talked about price controls on groceries, and that's Marxism. And I believe in entrepreneurial capitalism. At least Trump is a capitalist. And then he, proceeds to start like, starts an international trade war, starts taking stock, and like starts like literally engaging in like the most insane display of crony capitalism this country has ever seen. Like even worse than the last Gilded Age, like by far. It's like nothing holds a candle to it. And like you sit there and say, like, between Kamala Harris and Trump was actually the least bad option. I mean, you had all the information you needed to know this would go badly. And you thought you were just holding the line on protecting like free market capitalism. And this is why Donald Trump, you see, was the lesser evil. I cannot wait for the economic populists to take control and make you scream when they levy their wealth taxes and break up your companies and trust bust you. And I'm going to be cheering them on, because you did this. You did all of this to this. All of this. Your hands are covered in blood. It's just true. And like you think I'm being unfair, that I'm like failing to like acknowledge like these nuanced issues you were trying to navigate, that like you were just trying to hold the line. You wouldn't be made to sort of like choose between fascism and Marxism, like that was somehow the fucking option. Like, what are you talking about? You're fools. And like honestly, I'm not going. I am going to revel in rubbing your faces in it, like I am right now. And some of you, my former friends, said I had Trump derangement syndrome, and I'm like, well, I see. Well, okay. Let's talk about Chinese troll farms on Blue Sky. So some of you guys have seen the troll farm stuff that I talked about. That was interesting. I mean, I didn't expect last night or yesterday when I did that experiment. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go argue with all these like miserable people on Blue Sky. And it was fun. I thought it was great. You should check it out. I thought it was a great expose in a group of very unserious people. But inside that group of unserious people, it's very clear. And I've now made I have made contact with some of these troll farmers. I offered to pay the money. I gave some money to help somebody who was really economically struggling, who was making money off this. I gave them my money. and I'm going to help them out because it's insane that this American is working for a Chinese troll farm, with the what seems to be the obvious goal. The Chinese Communist Party is trying to insert itself, into this groups of like miserable, disenchanted people living on the edge of our society, and whip them up into a state that makes it impossible for us to come together and govern ourselves, to lead to the collapse of our democracy. So I'm working on that. I mentioned that I contacted the FBI, given some information that I got. Obviously, some people have said, and I spoke when I spoke to the guy from the FBI at I think it was like the National like Threat Center office or something, and in Virginia, I was like, I don't trust you. I think the FBI is compromised, but I'm giving you this information because it like seems to suggest that like certain Americans' lives may be in danger given some of the stuff that was disclosed to me. So I'm giving this to you responsibly, giving this information, because like I certainly don't want any American citizen, whatever they are, whether they voted for Trump or not, I don't want anyone getting hurt, especially um uh um but I mean I think like what I've discovered, I've had a few other people reach out to me saying that they're willing to take my money to stop working for a troll farm. I haven't yet vetted all of them yet. Um Obviously I can't like do this all myself. I'm trying to think about like what the next steps are now that I managed to penetrate one of these troll farms and win some turncoats. Not sure what to do with that, but I mean, I'll tell you. Like, I mean, I don't. I'm not afraid of like any of these people. I'm not at all. I do know actually today. Like, I've been. It's pretty clear that the 50 Cent army, these Chinese trolls, apparently a lot of them American citizens, living on the edge, associated with far left politics. Um, are engaged in this. I've been getting lots of emails of like password reset attempts and stuff like that on my accounts today. So it's pretty clear that I kicked a bit of a hornet's nest here. It's like going through my emails, but I mean, like I don't care. I don't care. Whatever. Like they can hack me and publish my emails and whatever the fuck they want to me, and I'll just keep coming. I'll just keep saying these things. I can't be can't be cowed by such things. So yeah. So Blue Sky has a Chinese troll farm problem. Just putting that out there for everybody. Like I said, there'll be more on this. I'm continuing my investigation into this. I reached out to somebody at Blue Sky. They haven't asking if they were willing to sort of like assist me in this investigation. They haven't responded to me yet, but I'll let you know if they do. That's what I'm one of the things I'm doing among the other things that are going on. So, yeah, working on that. Didn't expect to be working on that until last night, but like, I really don't like these foreign authoritarian governments fucking with us in this way. And I know people are going to say, yeah, but we do it too. I don't care. I don't. Shut up. I will. I will. I mean, I understand that Donald Trump is a fascist and he's like trying to be a dictator, but like, I mean, one, we're going to get him out of power and we're going to restore our democracy. And then what we're not going to do is pretend that there's some sort of moral equivalence between the political situation in America, where if I was saying what I'm saying right now in China, like I would be disappeared and my organs would be fucking sold or harvested and sold, like something insane like that. Like this is like what this like regime does. And so, like this idea that like we're gonna like say that, oh, Mike, like you like who are you to say that that's just not as good of a system as ours? Well, it is. I say that. In fact, not only do I think that, I mean, I think that the appeasement of the Chinese is one of the great embarrassments of the West. Um, uh, I've said my bit on Tim Cook in this regard. As for the foreign policy realists who say that we should like leave Taiwan out to dry and just accept that Taiwan is part of Beijing's proper sphere of influence and that it's insane and risks nuclear war to suggest that we should defend them. I mean, this is the peace in our time talk of our. I mean, if you want to live, I don't. I mean, honestly, like, I mean, I understand this sounds insane, but like, I would I mean, look, I would rather be dead than live unfree. I just would. I mean, sorry. I mean, if someone is like, Mike, you get to survive, but you must accept that you're going to live in a totalitarian dictatorship. My response to that is, where is the nearest gun? I wish to obtain a gun, and I wish to arm myself against this notion. And they're like, Mike, but then you'll get shot dead. And I'll say, well, maybe, but maybe some other people will join me in this, as others have in the past, as we did when we fought Hitler, as Winston Churchill screamed from the sidelines that Hitler should not be accommodated, as George Orwell himself nearly gave his life to fight the fascist forces of Moscow. I mean, Marco. I mean, and so, like, I'm sorry, you cowards, you cowardly fucking people. I just want to live is not good enough. I want to live, and I want to live a dignified life, and I want my children to live in a free society. And if nobody is afraid to lose something in order to get that, then I just suppose we probably are all going to die at some point, because, like, we're going to let, like, AI or climate change or biological warfare, experimentation, eugenics, or whatever it is, whatever these great extinction level events that await our future, if we do not bring this world under democratic control, like, we are probably all going to die. So, I mean, when you put things in that perspective, I mean, I just look at all of these people standing at the sidelines saying, oh, we just must avoid war at all costs. Really? I don't think we should avoid war at all costs. What a silly thing to say. That was silly, which is why Orwell said, of course, those who abjure violence can only do so because others are committing violence on their behalf. Somebody is standing watch. Somebody is standing out there and saying, I'm going to protect the poor and the downtrodden from those who would exploit them, that I'm going to stand up, that I'm going to raise my sword in their defense, and I'm going to say, we shall live with dignity, or we shall not live at all. That, to me, is the liberal spirit. That is being a true liberal. That is being truly committed to this idea that, like, you know, we're going to do civilization. We're going to live together. We're going to live together with dignity. That's what we're going to do. We're going to march towards a more perfect union. We're going to recover our country. We're going to recover this American experiment, this great American experiment that started over 249 years ago and is now facing its greatest challenge. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take this country back, and we're going to live free with dignity. That's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to try to do. And if, like, anyone wants to stop me, you can clearly see I am not going to stop. I don't care. Kill me. Shoot me dead. Fuck you. Anyways, that's where I am right now. And if you think that means I've lost my mind, if you think that means that I'm, as the 50 Cent Army on Blue Sky is trying to suggest, I'm having some sort of mental health episode, it's quite funny that the Chinese troll farms are engaged in this, then I'm sorry. I mean, by all means, continue to describe me in such way. It doesn't affect me in the slightest. So this is my message to you going into this wonderful weekend, everybody. I hope you're going to the No Kings protests, because America has no kings. We have no king. That's what we fought the Revolutionary War over. It is what our It is our inheritance that we maintain this idea of popular sovereignty, and it's something I'm going to defend. So honestly, if you don't stand with me, then I think you're a coward, and I think or a traitor, one or the other. I don't care. Deus civ natura. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you. I don't know if I'll do a stream tomorrow because I'm going to go to the protests and I don't know how my day's going to go, but I'll let you know, and um, we'll try to do one on Sunday if I can. But definitely Monday we'll be back at the 4 p.m. live stream. So thank you, everybody, and I'll see you later. And the recording of the video will be up shortly. Thank you.